Genie, man, we're so excited to have you as part of the team. You know, you bring 10 years of chief of legal assistance at Fort Benning to the table, right? And one of the things that we're really excited about is how frequently you've had the opportunity to interact one-on-one with general officers.
Well, thank you. I'm pleased as well to be here. And I love to interact with general officers as clients or as people that I'm actually speaking to on behalf of my clients. What I've noticed about general officers that a lot of people don't get is they're just like regular commanders. They're still, in their hearts, they would prefer to be a regular commander. And so what I have my clients do is write something really from their heart. And then what I do as their advocate is I take what they've written, and let's face it, a lot of my clients, I need to clean it up a little bit. That's what I'm paid for. That's what I'm good at. I love to do that stuff. I'm a wordsmith. So I'm gonna take what they've given me. I'm gonna pull out the part that expresses their heart, expresses what they think, expresses the way they feel. A lot of times, interestingly enough, it's about the shame and embarrassment they feel. They'll say things like, my father would be humiliated that I've done this. I hate that my family knows. All of these types of things. I'm gonna put something very nice around that, but I'm gonna leave that nugget. These general officers are smart. They know when something's from a lawyer and when something's from a client. And I want it to sound like it's from the client, but just really, really good.
Well, one of the things that I do when we're approaching a general officer memorandum reprimand is I have the client write a piece, and then I also write a piece. And I have my client certify that everything that I wrote is accurate and true. So, you know, there's the piece from the client that needs the wordsmithing. And then if there's any arguments or facts that I want to elicit that I don't want my client necessarily to be 100% associated with, I do that as the lawyer. Kind of bifurcate the response. Because sometimes when you're talking to a general officer, you want your client to be contrite, to accept responsibility. And if there's still a legal argument that you need to make, looking down the road for the Army Board of Correction and Military Records or any type of subsequent appeal after that GOMOR, you want to at least have it been raised at that level.
Well, that's because you're a really experienced attorney. Right out the box, most attorneys are just going to do it from the client because that's what you're told, but you're absolutely correct. What you want to have is 2 bites at the apple. You want the client to be sorry, and then you as the attorney want to write, understanding, sir, that my client is very sorry he did this. As his attorney, I would not be doing my duty unless I pointed out the legal problems with this case. He wants to tell you he did this, that's fine. I'm not going to, and it makes him look doubly good. Oh, this guy's a great soldier. He really wants to stay in the Army. He's apologizing to me. But now I can see these legal problems over here I didn't think about. And he's got a good attorney who's going to help him as well. Happy both sides. And you really want to give that to a general officer. You also want to give a little extra to the general officer, and I don't know how you feel about this, but I would always tell my clients, recognize that he is making a hard decision for free. Recognize he doesn't want to sit in judgment. Recognize and tell him, I am so sorry you've had to do this because of what I've done. I'm so sorry that I've embarrassed my command. And once you get to that part of it, they're already going, oh, this person gets the big picture. This person already understands I'm not really going to have to hammer him to get the point across because he's already recognized that he did something wrong, and he's already recognized the effect it's had on me, his command, our community, and everyone on post. In some of your bigger cases, everybody on post knows this. So you want your client to be able to just push that a little further if they're willing to. Now, I have had some clients, I got to be honest, it was worth it for them to say, I want to say my piece, and I don't want to apologize. And I think everything with this is totally screwed up, and I don't like it one bit, and I'm out of the Army in a year, and I don't care. And for those, it's their letter. I'm going to help them draft them, write it again, make sure they approve it, because as an attorney, that goes against my grain a little bit, but it is their time. And I always ask my clients at the end of the appointment, before we submit it, can you live with what you're submitting no matter what happens? And if they can, I know we're right.
I mean, you're right. At the end of the day, it's the client's action, right? And what the client wants to do, the client should be able to do. I mean, they don't need to spend money to hire us to go tell the general that this whole thing is screwed up, right? But if they want to salvage their career, if they want to stay in, they want to somehow say, I don't necessarily think that this was handled in an appropriate way, although I'm still sorry for how it was done and what I did. we can help wordsmith that.
Oh, exactly. And a lot of times as you go through it with the client, they'll start to calm down. When they're able to see what they're actually saying, and you can show them, do you really want to say this to a general officer that's got your career in his hands? Is it worth that much to you? They're like, no, I guess not. I guess I'm okay. But you do have to go along with them. And sometimes I'll meet with my clients, 3, 4, 5 times to fine tune things, because I want their whole packet. I want everything they want to say. And then I'm going to pull out the stuff as we go to say, I can't give an 11-page response to a general officer, because a lot of that, you've got a personal issue with the witness. You think that they didn't like you. You think that they lied. Let's not go there. He's making a decision. The investigation's been done. And once you get into that, I try to tailor it down to maybe 2 at the most with exhibits. What I have noticed, interestingly enough, everybody who's involved in the case, if they're not JAGs or people who write on a regular basis, they're worried about how they're going to look to the general. The commanders, his NCOs that we're asking to write letters. What do I say? How do I put this? I'm not good at this. So a lot of times you'll do some type of shell, or you'll ask them to bring it in, and you'll fine tune that as well. You want everybody who's helping him to be comfortable with what they're saying in addition to the client.
Right. And there are a few ways to skin that cat, so to speak. And that's a Texas term, by the way. But there's a few ways to do that, right? You could have a much longer response with an executive summary for that general officer. What I want to make sure that we do is we don't foreclose an opportunity later at an appellate review, whether that's an administrative or, if somebody's fighting this who's retirement eligible, but for some reason they're going to lose their retirement, or they're close to being retirement eligible. That's a lot of money. That's millions of dollars. So we want to set that up for the most success in the future if we're not able to convince that general officer. But you're right. The meat needs to be something that's digestible by a general officer.
And what you're saying is also a really good second, like you've got that intermediate thing that a lot of your clients don't know about, which is what you're writing, first of all, goes to the JAG office, and they review it before the general makes his decision. So if you can put in all these problems you're foreseeing down the road, which are going to embarrass a general, they might, as attorneys, go, hey, sir, maybe we'll back off a little bit, because I'm not sure this is going to go where you think it's going to go. There's a lot more here that we need to consider. And a lot of times, just that little bit of interaction with the other attorney who's reviewing it can also be helpful for your client.
I'll tell you, Genie, one of the things that has really frustrated me as a civilian practitioner the last 10 years is I cannot tell you how many clients that I've had come to me with a general officer memorandum of reprimand response and say, look, I went to legal assistance and they gave me a template and said, get some character letters. And I'm like, well, did they do anything else? And they're like, no, they told me to write the letter and that they would edit it. And that's it. I said, well, how long did you meet with them? And they're like, 30 minutes. And that's the sum total of the legal assistance they get. What do you tell a soldier in that position?
If they came to me as a client now, I'd say, give me everything you've got and let's do a bang-up response. Legal assistance attorneys, and I was one. I was chief of a legal assistance office. It's a heavy string. You've got people coming through, every 30 minutes. And some of your attorneys do tend to say, this is what you've got. This is what you need to go do. I've never found that very effective, because people, when you send them away to do extra things, they're just not going to do it. They've got other things on their plate. What you want to do is be able to tell that client, okay. I can see all this. Yeah, this is what I need you to do. Give them a list. Go do this. Let's do a follow-up appointment for you to come back in 4 days. Give me what I've asked you for. I can't go out and talk to their NCOs every single time, because sometimes the most effective way to do it is have the client go to the NCO or to someone to evaluate them and say, would you be willing to write a letter? You saw what happened. My attorney will contact you. My attorney will help you do this. They do the groundwork for me, and then I do the legal work for them. Every single case is a little different, but I would not be happy with any of my attorneys who just gave someone a shell and said, go do it and turn it in, because you want to see what this client is doing. You want to see how they're able to write. You want to see how they express themselves. You want to see their story. You can't just meet with them and give them a template.
Right. Because you've got to be able to influence that general officer. And I'll tell you, I've dealt with several general officers in my career, and to a T, every single one of them has wanted to make a good, informed decision. I've not met one that went, yeah, this is a staff sergeant, I don't really care. Never met one like that.
They love this stuff. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but think of it. You're a general officer. You've got all these heavy, horrible decisions, admin work. Nobody likes that. That's what he does all day. So to get a real person in who needs his help, who needs him to make a really good decision that's riding on him, yeah, they're good guys, so they wouldn't have made it that far. So they want to know everything they can to make sure they're doing what they should do and doing right as well by the soldier.
Look, if you've been given a template and you've not been given the legal advice that you think you need, and you've got a GOMOR hanging over your head, we're the law office of Will M. Helixon. We are your warrior advocates. You defend the nation. We defend you.